Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. So if you clicked on this video, you know exactly what we're going to be doing today, and I'm so excited to finally be able to do this. By the time this video will be posted, it'll probably be around 3 to 4 weeks after the original trailer has been posted. Since then, I have taken the time to rewatch the trailer in slow-mo more times than is probably healthy, and tried to take as much information as possible, and including things that, came from maybe outside sources that I found interesting as well. I really hope you're as excited as I am for this game, but before we begin, let me just quickly remind you to please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Alright, so right off the bat we can see a dog barking, but for me, what catches my eyes right away is what's in the first circle. This is an Easter egg of another game by Platinum Games called Wonderful 101. Then in Circle 2, if you look at the building, you can see a mystical cloud of some sort. You can also see more of this veil between the buildings in Circle 3. If I had to guess, this is probably some sort of barrier stopping you from venturing too far out into the city. So here we can see that the trailer takes place in Shibuya, Tokyo, Japan. Not a very important detail, I guess, but this was confirmed on the Platinum Games website here in a little write-up they made after the reveal trailer. But we're going to be looking at this again later on. So just a quick note here, notice how the monster has a green tube hanging from the back of its neck. I'll touch more on this soon, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so here's not something that I see that looks important, but rather something I hear. I'm not sure if you noticed, but when the monster started swinging, it grunted. No biggie, that's not what's important. I want you to listen to what the monster is about to say. For returning Bayonetta fans, you might notice that this gibberish mumbling sounds kind of like the angels of past games. Here you can see the swirling mystical veil is now around the monster's arm. Could this possibly be somebody controlling them from behind the scenes like Bayonetta can control her Inferno demons? Since we're on the topic of outside forces, I'll touch back on that green tube I mentioned earlier. If there's in fact an outside source, could these tubes possibly be some sort of, energy funnel for the monsters? You'll notice that almost all of the monsters in this video have this pipe. To save a bit of time here, there's one more thing I can see in this frame. According to the website I showed earlier, they say mysterious life forms appearing to be neither angels nor demon. We could take this at face value, of course, but that's not what we're here for after all. Focusing on the word appearing, there's two definitions of this word. The first is come into sight, and the second one is seem, or, give the impression of being. Notice how the monsters have armor. The armor is incredibly similar to the vibe, I guess you could say, of the angels of past games, with, the use of white and gold. It kind of feels somewhat, angelic. My theory is that if there's actually an external force, they may be taking the angels and mutating them and controlling them. If this is true, yeah, they might not appear to be angels. However, it doesn't mean they're not.
Bad boy. It seems I'm unfashionably late. but I'm ready to give you everything you want.
As we can see here, Bayonetta is once again sporting a new outfit. She's like the Don Cherry of video games. She'll never be seen sporting the same outfit twice. So at this point, we could be talking about some spoilers of Bayonetta 1, so if that's something you'd like to skip out on for now, please jump to the time marked on the screen. So spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you're watching this section, you may have heard that the Bayonetta we are going to be playing as in this game is actually Cereza, the little girl from the first game who is actually Bayonetta. I know, it's kind of confusing, but Twitter user OfficeCode made an interesting find supporting that we may be Cereza in a deeper way than just, rocking the braided pigtails and red ribbon. As she pointed out, there's a difference in the watch on her chest. If this doesn't make much sense to you, you're probably not alone. There's an entire thing about, multiple timelines involved, but just hear me out, take my word for it, it makes sense. Okay, so we are now finally moving away from cinematics and onto gameplay. When the battle starts, we can see that you can select a demon with your D-pad. The bar underneath is probably, like a power gauge of some sort that you'll need to fill up in order to summon them. Also, you can see that it says verse 7, which means chapters are back. Some people were speculating that Bayonetta 3 may be an open world game in the same way of Nier Automata is. However, I doubt it would be the case, but honestly, hey, you never know, I guess, so here's to hoping. In the next scene, we are seen fighting off a horde of enemies, and it's the same enemies that we are about to see in a train fight. However, if you look down in the left corner, you can see that Memphis is selected, but it seems like there is a sub-menu. Could this be a more cost-effective way to perform finisher attacks? The icon you see is of a gun, so maybe if this is the case, I imagine each infernal demon will have their own subset of finisher attacks based if you are punching, kicking, or using your guns. In this scene, we are in a train fight. With the first circle, we can tell that when we are in a small space, we can't summon a demon. But in the second circle, as I was saying earlier, these monsters seem to be like they are mutated angels that are being controlled by something, or rather someone. These enemies also have a green tube connected to its head, similar to the way that the other monsters did. I would also like to point out that the shape of these smaller enemies kind of remind me of the bigger ones we already fought. If my earlier prediction is right, that they are just mutation, this could be an early stage of the mutation and it just didn't get a chance to grow like the bigger ones yet. And if that ends up being true, there's probably a chance, or a good chance I should say, that the bigger ones we saw earlier probably won't be the biggest ones we'll see. In this scene, I was a little confused about, what I was actually seeing. At first, it seemed like Bayonetta was summoning Madame Butterfly, but in reality, she's actually transforming into this, well, I guess, quote-unquote new character. But what exactly is Bayonetta doing? Maybe this is some sort of new unlockable skill that would work in the same way as a previous skill like Panther Within. Here is another spoiler warning that could be either major or minor by the way you interpret it. So if you do not want to hear it, just skip to the time on the screen. You know the drill. Spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1. This next scene might help to answer something from the last one though. At first I couldn't tell if this was a new character or not, but based on Bayonetta's shadow, it appears that Bayonetta became Madame Butterfly in the last scene. It appears Madame also received a redesign based on how the antennas in the shadow in the last scene line up with this one. Moving on, we now see the biggest enemy yet. Looking at it, I still see it as another evolution of the enemies we saw earlier. However, this one has obviously grown massive. There still seems to be some characteristics such as the green pipe on its neck in Circle 1, angelic styled armor with the familiar feel to the enemies of the first two games in Circle 2, and the swirling mystical veil near its shoulder in Circle 3. So as we just saw, filming TikTok dances is a crucial part of this game, and it summons demons. Okay, now obvious jokes aside, she does her dance to summon her infernal demons to fight off the giant monster. Now, I'm going to warn you, buckle up because we are about to see a lot of things happen in a very short amount of time. Unlike the first game, the climax finisher move seems to not be there, or at least not in the same way as before. First of all, it seems we're able to control the demons more than ever before. However, I'm not sure, about how much exactly we'll be actually able to control them. If you look at the bottom left, you can see 2 heal icons. This means a kick into a kick combo. So maybe you get to control them as being able to tell them how to hit the enemy but not actually move them around. This would replace the quick time button mashers we used to have. Although if I had to be honest with you, I'll probably just end up mashing the buttons anyways in these sections. And if you look into the sky, you can also still kind of see the swirling pattern that I was mentioning before. Next up, you can see that we are no longer in the city anymore. Other Bayonetta games always start like that. We may start in the city, but we always end up far away from where we, kind of started, and usually most of the game happens after we leave wherever we started. But in the background, you can see cliffs as well as what seems to look like some sort of ruin or something of that nature behind Memphis. However, here is where my theories go in and out the window at the same time. You seem to have full control of the spider with the way it climbs up the wall and goes around like you're about to see. What makes it also feel that way is the way that Bayonetta is dancing on the spot and not moving anywhere. However, she's also seen running earlier when Gamora was in the field fighting, so how much we'll actually be able to control the demons is still kind of unknown. After the title, we see Gamora flying along falling buildings. This kind of feels to me like they're trying to replicate the motorcycle level from Bayonetta 1, but who knows. And we seem to be chasing down a huge dragon or something, as well as the buildings seem to be warping and creating the way. At the end, we are flying towards the mouth of the biggest monster we have seen to date. And in our final glimpse at our first look at Bayonetta 3, we are left with this character. No one knows for sure who it is. Could it be Jean, or could it be someone else? What we can see though is that Cereza's toy from the first game is dangling off the pommel of their sword in the circle 1. And there's also a paw print in circle number 2 on the sword, and I don't know why, but it just seems fishy to me considering, everything else is blacked out except for that. You can see it, so I don't know. And there you have it. That wraps up the first trailer for Bayonetta 3. I don't know about you, but this trailer has had me super excited. And I can't wait for the next trailer, whenever that's gonna be. So now it's your turn. Let me know if you're even like half as excited as I am for this game, or if you have any theories about the game yourself. I'm interested in seeing what you have to say about this game. But yeah, that's all I have for this video, so if you stuck around this long, you might as well please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. It helps the channel out. And with all that being said, what out?